He was the last king of an era, and the silence before a new dynasty began. For centuries, the rulers of Egypt's first dynasty forged a civilization from the sands, uniting to lands under the sacred authority of the pharaoh. But all great eras must end. This is the story of that end and of the man who presided over it, King Qa'a, the final guardian of Egypt's first golden age. His reign marks a quiet, yet profound, turning point in history, a moment of stability poised on the edge of monumental change. Was he merely the last of his line, or the architect of a legacy that would echo for millennia? The story of the first dynasty is one of power, conquest, and divine authority. It began with legendary kings like Narmer, who first wore the double crown of a united Egypt. They established the foundations of pharaonic rule, building a state centered on the king as both a political leader and a living god. They developed writing, perfected administrative systems, and constructed monumental tombs at Abydos that declared their eternal power. But after the reigns of powerful rulers like Den and Anajib, the dynasty began to show signs of strain. Political turmoil and succession disputes clouded the final years, threatening to undo the unity that had been so painstakingly built. Into this uncertain world stepped a king who would bring order back from the brink of chaos. His name was Qa'a. Qa'a ascended to the throne after the turbulent reign of his predecessor, Semerkit. Historical records, though scarce, suggest Semerkit's rule was marred by internal conflict, with his very name being erased from some monuments as severe condemnation in ancient Egypt. Qa'a inherited a kingdom that needed a steady hand. Instead of conflict, his reign appears to be a period of consolidation and renewed stability. He didn't expand the empire or wage great wars. His mission was more critical. He had to restore faith in the institution of kingship itself. Qa'a did this by reinforcing the traditions that gave the pharaoh his legitimacy. He governed not with the sword, but with ceremony, administration, and a deep respect for the legacy he inherited. His reign, lasting perhaps more than 3 decades, was a masterclass in quiet strength. Evidence from his time reveals a well-organized administration. Countless seal impressions bearing his name have been found, not just at the royal necropolis of Abydos, but across Egypt, from Saqqara in the north to the far reaches of the kingdom. These seals were the instruments of a complex bureaucracy used to label goods, authorize transactions, and manage state-run institutions. They tell a story of a kingdom at peace, where trade flowed, resources were managed, and the central government's authority was respected everywhere. Unlike the preceding chaos, Qa'a's reign was one of order. He was a builder, not a destroyer, focused on maintaining the sophisticated state apparatus developed by his ancestors. This commitment to tradition is most powerfully seen in his funerary complex at Abydos. Qa'a's tomb is one of the largest and most complex of the first dynasty, a final, magnificent statement of royal power. It was built with intricate subterranean chambers and surrounded by the graves of dozens of retainers, a practice that symbolized the king's eternal court. The artifacts found within his tomb and at nearby sites are of exquisite quality, from finely carved stone vessels to ivory labels detailing religious festivals. One of the most important discoveries is a seal impression that lists all the kings of the first dynasty in chronological order, from Narmer to Qa'a himself. This wasn't just a list of names, it was a declaration of legitimate succession, a powerful piece of political propaganda that cemented Qa'a's place as the rightful heir to a divine lineage. He was consciously preserving history, ensuring that the legacy of his dynasty would not be forgotten. The symbols he used were steeped in tradition. His royal name, or Serik, was consistently depicted with the Horus falcon perched on top, reaffirming his identity as the earthly manifestation of the sky god. He celebrated the Sed festival, a jubilee meant to magically rejuvenate the king's power after 30 years of rule, a tradition that reinforced the cyclical nature of divine kingship and cosmic order. By diligently performing these sacred duties, Qa'a wasn't just ruling for the present. He was ensuring the spiritual and political well-being of Egypt for the future. He was the anchor holding the state together, a bridge between the pioneering spirit of his ancestors and the unknown future that lay ahead. His reign was the dynasty's final, powerful heartbeat. But what happened when that heartbeat stopped? The death of King Qa'a is shrouded in mystery. There are no grand tales of his final days, no records of a dynastic war. There is only a quiet transition. For a brief period after his death, two obscure kings, Ba and a mysterious ruler known only as Bird, may have vied for the throne. But their reigns were fleeting, mere footnotes in the grand saga of Egypt. The silence was soon broken by the rise of a new and powerful ruler, Hatshepsut, whose name literally means the two powers are at peace. His ascension marked the beginning of the Second Dynasty. Hatshepsut's origins are unclear, but he made a significant choice. He honored Ka. He oversaw the burial of the last king of the First Dynasty, a gesture of deep respect and a brilliant political move. By officiating Ka''s funeral rites, Hatshepsut presented himself not as a usurper who had overthrown the old order, but as the legitimate successor who ensured its proper conclusion. He was continuing the sacred duty, not breaking from it. This act of continuity suggests that the transition was not a violent revolution, but a managed transfer of power. The stability that Qa'a had so carefully cultivated during his reign likely made this peaceful transition possible. He had calmed the storms, allowing for a new chapter to begin without the kingdom collapsing into civil war. So, we are left with a final, lingering question. Was King Qa'a the end of the First Dynasty? Or the foundation of everything that came next? He was the last of his line, the final pharaoh of an era that had defined Egypt. Yet, his reign was not one of decline, but of preservation. He inherited a kingdom in turmoil and left it in a state of order, ripe for a new beginning. He was the guardian of a sacred flame, and he passed it on, ensuring that the light of pharaonic civilization would not be extinguished. In the grand tapestry of ancient Egypt, King Qa'a is not just a final thread. He is the knot that secured the past and allowed the future to be woven. His silence was not an ending, but the quiet, deliberate work of a king ensuring his civilization would endure forever. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into the past meaningful, please like this video and subscribe for more stories from the annals of history.